here. This. Okay. Should be okay. Videos here. Alright, so we're gonna do the Simul today. Не, все нормально. Я просто зашел на свой канал, и поэтому я говорю, и он говорит.
Окей. А он так-то альтер-эго?
Okay, so let's see. There is also American Cup. Very interesting. I saw that Naka beat Wesley So in the Blitz playoffs. And it was a very interesting rule in chess that if you don't win a winning position, you sort of tend to lose it. Okay, I didn't want to actually see this commentary. I wanted to see the games. But they're doing the commentary. So Wesley is playing Karonian for the losers winner bracket. The one who wins this match comes back to play in the final versus Naka. So Aronian already beat Fabiano in a tremendous battle. Now he is playing number 2 of the US chess. So this is actually who is who in the American chess, this tournament. Yeah, so if Aronian manages to beat Wesley, then he's gonna play Naka in the finals. And if he manages to beat Naka in the finals, you know, he beats like the top 3 US grandmasters. Yeah. I mean, kind of wishful thinking, but I'm kind of rooting for Aronian anyway. Yeah, okay. All right. Hi, Mr. Dillman. How are you? Yes. So there are games going on, but I'm not gonna cover them. We're gonna do the Simul. Okay. Hello, Mr. Ivanov. Good evening. Thank you for the wishes. All right. Waiting for the challenges, gentlemen. Waiting for the challenges. Highlight your message. Okay, great. Awesome. All right, Mr. Dillman. You're the first. Okay. Any specific opening you want me to play? D4, E4, C4, something. Do you want to practice something? You know, you should register for some classical events. Can play Berlin again? Okay, fine. Will I cover the Nepo versus Dingley Ren? Very unlikely, but it is possible. I'll cover some games because I have a very busy chess schedule right now, and I also have to finish my 3rd volume book, which I have to finish like before the summer. So there's a lot of work, but yeah, but I think I'll try to find time to commentate the match, but it will be in English, okay? Because there are already a lot of Russian commentary, so makes no sense. All right, there is this very interesting move, but okay. All right, let's see if Mr. Dillman knows this line. I don't really know it, but it's pretty interesting. Hello, Mr. Virginia. All right, waiting for my subscribers' challenges. Mr. Ivanov, Mr. Levitov invited me to do an interview with me, and I told him I'm quite busy, but I might do this if he wants to invite me to commentate in Russian language. It is, again, I will see what I can do because time is limited and there are plenty of great commentators. I'm sure he will invite Vladimir Kramnik, who will commentate at least a couple of games. Okay. Yeah, this is extremely interesting. Hmm. Yeah, I'm just thinking about this line about some moves, and it seems to be extremely tactical. Yeah, very interesting line. Hello, Mr. Pefimoso. Yes, there is a Simul you can join. Yes, you're a subscriber. Okay, again, we'll see, Mr. Ivanov. We'll see. Okay. It's like when is the Nepo versus Dink starting actually? I'm not sure. You don't know anything here? Okay. One of the main moves is knight b d4. The other main move is d6, ab5, knight e5. Both are very, very complicated. And I don't know more than you actually. I played with black here, knight d4, knight d4, knight d4, queen d4, and then I played d5. If you remember, Wesley and Naka made a lot of draws, taking on d6, queen d6, queen e4, queen e6, queen d4, queen d6, right? This is like sort of grandmaster prearranged draw stuff. But in reality, if people want to play chess, then they don't take on d6, they play knight c3, c6, and there is very, 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 very much going on. Mr. Ivanov, you don't have to tell him anything because, again, there is plenty of commentators in Russian language. I don't really have a lot of time, so again, I do not guarantee it. If I'm gonna commentate it, I would prefer to commentate it on my channel here for my guys, for my, club team, for members. All right, opening choice. Hello, Mr. Falcon. Okay, thank you for redeeming the channel points. All right, members, get those challenges up. The reason we're doing the Simul today is because on the weekend I'm playing in the French Cup team game. And it's not at home. It will have to go somewhere. I think it's Lyon. Never been in Lyon, but Lyon is the place of the famous Karpov-Kasparov match, right? Legendary match. World Championship, April 7 to 30. Thank you, Mr. Shlektovsky. Appreciate it. Do I see your challenge? No, I don't see your challenge. Let me refresh my game. I see a friend request. I don't see a challenge. Mr. Pefimoso, you'll have to redo the challenge, I guess. Ah, there you go. Okay, I see. Thank you. Right, there you go. Okay, guys, you can redeem your channel points for a specific opening. Okay, just like Mr. Dillman did. Right, Mr. Pefimoso, you have to make 2 moves, otherwise the game gets aborted. All right. Okay, so apparently there is some new stuff that it doesn't show challenge for every game unless you do something. All right, so e4. I remember I played something like this versus Moro in Zurich Grand Prix event. He played bishop g7, knight c3, and he played c5, and we went like for this huge line. It's an absolutely crazy game. I don't remember who won. Okay, Mr. Ivanov, I hear you. Thank you for your comments. Although I think you greatly exaggerate everything. Pretty much. Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. I guess we'll have to do some. Okay, gentlemen. One thing is thank you for, getting to watch some of my YouTube videos. And I would have a request, to get some more watching, because I have enough subscribers for the, monetization program, but I don't have enough live watching. Yeah. So if you guys get a chance, just, spend like 2-3 minutes, watch something on my YouTube channel. Okay. I'd really appreciate that. Alright, if you play e6, probably f4 is actually not a bad idea. Wait a minute, Mr. Dillman, are you trying to play... My god, what is this, Scotch? Dude, that's pretty interesting. Oh, minus my bishop, yeah? I don't have a bishop, but I do have knight on f5, which might be pretty good for white, yeah? So let's see this. Yeah, usually they take on d4 and play d5, just I mentioned before. And then white has a choice between e d6, queen d6, queen e4, queen e6 draw, or play knight c3, c6, a5, and there is like huge positional battle. All right. Right, Mr. Ivanov, I think we will force you finally to learn some English so you can type in channel with the English. Yeah. It's probably more likely than me responding to you in Russian. Okay. You're completely surprised by this move. Mr. Dillman, I was completely surprised by your bishop c5 move. The theory is, as I mentioned, knight takes d4, queen d4, and d5. Okay, that's the main line. I don't know if you have the sound on, but yeah. I'll show you after the game. This very, very famous draw, very, very famous. Neither side can really, move away from it. Bishop c5, I'm pretty sure is not a theory, because it doesn't look right. Because if you castle, there is bishop h6 or queen g4. It's extremely dangerous, man. Bishop c5 is not looking good. Yeah. All right, knight c6, knight f3. Are there any more challenges? We have 2 games going. All right, people probably still coming. And a lot of people are watching the Aronian versus Wesley So match, which is pretty exciting, I guess. Which is fine. Yeah. I mean, yeah, if I didn't have so much, load, yeah, I'll probably, do the commentary on this event. Unfortunately, there is too much chess at the moment. But okay, maybe after the Simul, I'll do some recap of their games today. But the way they organize the games is kind of weird, because, they have the games and then suddenly the games are gone and I have to search for them somewhere else. I'm extremely confused with the way they structured the tournament. Also, the Pro League, they have the special button for the Pro League, but it doesn't show all the games. And it's also extremely confusing, and it's kind of frustrating, to be honest. Hello, e4, d5, e d5, knight f6, e4, e6 better than c6 or equals or worse? I think c6 is pretty standard, but e6 is also playable on that line. I mean, I played a lot both of them, but c6 I played in classical game, but e6 I played in a lot of blitz games against not very strong opponents, so I don't know, man. Alright, so probably d5, yeah. I mean, the problem with knight in c6, if you come early with this knight, there's always this d5 pawn push in the center. So you have to waste time to move the knight again. And then white sort of... Alright. The Simul's only for the Twitch subs. Yes, that is true. Mishaga Nech, can you say hi in the channel? Ah, okay. Awesome, thank you. All right, guys, don't forget you can redeem channel points for the opening choice, okay? If you have enough channel points, and most of you should have enough, you can redeem it. So, okay. I don't know, Mr. Kureko. I'm not a big expert in the Scandinavian defense, so I can't really answer your question from the top of my head. So knight g7, king f8, bishop h6, king g8. What is that? My knight on g7 will be kind of stuck, yeah? It's kind of weird, but on the other hand, and then there's bishop f8, yeah? Yeah, that's not exactly what I was looking for. How about queen d5? That looks a little bit more reasonable. All right. e4. Dude, Mirshaga, I'm not sure if we played before. I think there was somebody who played c6, e6 also before in the game. And usually it's not a good idea to play both of these pawns because you're weakening, seriously weakening this square. That's why most of the time people usually either play e6, d5, make sure this pawn keeps the square, or you play the caro and the pawn stays on e7 until you resolve the center situation. But if you play like this is potentially very, very strong weakness. So for example, white plays e5, I can probably play e5 here. It should be pretty good for white. Potentially there is a line where if I play c4, d5, knight c3, knight c3 would transpose into the Slav, yeah? With e4 taking here, which is also very interesting. Very interesting, yeah. But okay, let's just develop for now. I think last time I played f4 and then d5 happened, e5, and then one knight went to f5. So let's play knight f3. Make develop. Hello, Mr. Ripiderov. How are you? Soon you'll be in deep trance. Right, Mr. Dillmans? Dig yourself out of this hole. Make sure you calculate and use your time to think. Don't forget you can use some engine. Alright? Stuff. So you see what you played. You played c6, c5, while I could have played c5 in one move. So if I play c3, we transpose into the French with extra tempo for white. I'm trying to think if I can make use of this tempo and try to achieve a better French position by playing knight c3 maybe. f5 they usually don't play in this position because you seriously weaken the square. In combination with this pawn and this knight, potentially there is serious problem on e6. Also, if I take here, immediately the king will become kind of open. Yeah. Alright, so this is standard maneuver in French. You put this knight on f4. So he is like really close everywhere. Alright. Take on f5 or knight g5 is extremely interesting choice. Probably knight g5 immediately. If you take a knight, my pawn structure will be total mess. Do I like carrots? Not really. Yes, Mr. Dillman. So it's a big question, yeah? You have several candidate moves. You have d6, bishop f8, g5, b6, yeah? So you got to calculate each one of them and try to understand which one is best. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm gonna also grab some food. All right, because it's gonna be, usually simuls last like for 2.5-3 hours, and I'm gonna need some energy. Okay, so this is the thing about the French defense. If white managed to get this blockading piece here, it's pretty much a little better. Because of this pawn structure and black problem with the French bishop. This is very famous problem. Bishop has no sort of active duty. It's also similar, very similar to the problem of this bishop in the Queen's Gambit decline. Okay, so they're kind of related. All right, so I wanted to test this idea. And see if it works. All right, so knight g7. Probably castle first. And the reason I castle is because with the center open and black seriously underdeveloped, while again center is open, white has lead in the development. I have 3 pieces developed. I have king already castled, controlling center. Okay. Okay, now I have a very serious choice. Knight takes or pawn takes. Pawn takes is pretty generic. I mean, it's guarantees white small advantage, but I'm interested in knight d4 so I can open the queen. So let's take with the knight. Because now the queen can possibly go to the into the attack mode. Maybe. We'll see. There are always some details. The devil is in the details, yeah. Yes, Mr. Dillman, but in a tactical position, sometimes using strategical concepts is not always a great idea. Yeah, you have to follow the tactics with the tactical. Yeah, I mean, whenever you have close combat, you don't like sort of drag your heavy artillery. Yeah. So, like in the esports, there's a term that you should always like try to hit the closest opponent next to you. Okay, so it's like in chess, yeah. What happens in chess, like you always follow the closest idea that your opponent tries to make, and you pay attention to it. Yeah, while trying to keep the large picture, of course. Yeah. All right, so let's castle again. I'm a big believer in the castling and full development. So rook e1. I don't really want to play f4 because I want to keep this bishop open. Although f4 and bishop e3 pretty much guarantees white hold on the center, yeah, and a small advantage. But I'm sort of trying to play for an attack here, which is a little bit ambitious. Yeah, well, Mr. Dillman, that's why, I because I don't study theory these days, Now probably you can understand how I feel when I'm facing heavily prepared opponents who catch me in the opening. And it's extremely frustrating, right? You can probably guess it, yeah? Extremely frustrating. Yeah, Queen h5 is very, very aggressive, but I'm just not sure this is correct. And the idea was to play e6 here. And try to create some threats. But I don't know, man. I have second doubts now about the quality of this idea. I think black can hold. Queen h4 blunders the piece, Mr. Meshaga. You have 53 minutes, so you have time to think. Don't play like this game. The bishop takes a knight who supports your queen, at the same time supports my own queen. And if you play queen f2, there is king f2, fg6, queen f3. And you have to give up the rook for the queen. Alright, so white gets with the extra material. So queen h4 was terrible, but you could have played queen b6. Alright, queen e7 or queen f6, Mr. Dillman, yeah? I kind of like queen f6 more because then I cannot play rook e1, okay? And now I can actually play rook e1 because my pawn is not hanging. I think. You see the difference? If you play queen f6, you hit this pawn. And it might be important in tactical melee. Or it's not so important because I have to calculate bishop f2, king f2, queen h4, king f1, queen h6. And you're actually probably okay, yeah? Because my knight is hanging and my pawn is hanging, my king is wide open. So rook e1 probably doesn't work. Which means I have probably to take. Bishop g5, you just take here, so probably take, yeah? And I have to develop. Otherwise black is just better. Yeah. All right. That was as far as I calculated. And I'm not sure what is the evaluation of that position. Probably white should be a little bit better, but black should be okay. Alright, let's see. Are there more challenges? No challenges, okay. Have 3 games going. Bishop b7. Alright, so when you have extra material, you should just pretty much trade stuff. I'm looking at knight e6, bishop e3, knight f8. And then knight can possibly go back to d7. So that should net white a pawn, yeah? So let's do that. Mr. Meshaga, your tactics, yeah? You need to solve tactical things. Okay? It looks like it's your biggest weakness right now. You're missing tactics. All right. So I like this knight. I really like this knight, so I'll just take this pawn for now. You looked at my YouTube video with Magnus? Yeah, I analyzed it, but I probably should make it separate from the tournament, yeah, because I analyzed the endgame in depth after the tournament. Okay, and I'm not sure if guys are aware of that, because I analyzed that in endgame like in detail, and I thought it was pretty important, and I wanted to share it with guys, but it's not so clear probably, yeah. So hopefully, yeah. So I'm thinking maybe I should just make a separate video on that endgame alone, because that was a very important endgame. It turns out to be extremely tricky, which is incredible. Which is incredible actually. Thank you, Mr. Dillman, for gifting sub to Panic New for 4 months. Thanks very much. All right. Hi, Panic. Hi, Panic New. Thank you for watching, by the way, Mr. Seb SW. Guys, again, if you have a chance, can you please watch some videos on my channel? Just, spend a few minutes. I need to bring my live count so I can apply for the monetization program finally. And get some $50 a month, hopefully. All right. Thank you for the game, Mr. Mishaga. Again, you're playing way too fast, right? Like here, in this position, okay? Castles, Queen H5. Yeah, I thought Queen B6 was pretty interesting. But apparently after Rook E3, it's just, wow, it's winning actually. Yeah, I thought this attack was dangerous, but I didn't realize exactly how dangerous. But it turns out to be that after this and Bishop H6, it's just completely devastating, yeah? Because there is mate, and then there's Bishop G6. Okay. See, remember how I told you that I want to take with the knight so my queen comes? So that's it. Alright, so the problem is then probably that you castled, okay? If you see your opponent, building up attack against your king, then try to think maybe it's possible to hold on to castling and like sort of develop pieces first and maybe exchange some of the opponent attacking potential, okay? Like Bishop D7, Knight C6, Queen C7, play G6. Keep your king in the center for now. I mean, it's not easy. It's not easy, I agree, but just a consideration, okay? See, the computer plays the first line, he actually castles to the queen side. Extremely interesting idea. Very, very interesting. Because in order to punish this castling, I'll have to start pushing pawns on the queen side, but that will entail weakening the center, and potentially you can sort of start breaking in the center, and then my king also gets open. So very, very interesting idea. All right, check. I should probably just take it, yeah. All right, Bishop D7 and Rook E1, because I have to bring everybody into the game. All right, thank you, Mr. Seb SW. All right, you're welcome, Mr. Chess Minishag. All right, we have some more games. Mr. Fred Torsvik and Panic New. Panic New just got subscribed, so we'll start the game. Don't forget you can redeem your channel points for if you want to play specific opening, okay? So Mr. Panic knew if you have enough channel points, you can redeem them and choose the opening you want me to play. Any opening is good. Okay. All right, so let's play some Karo Khan. It used to be a weapon of choice for Anatoly Karpov. Extremely dangerous in his hands because at the time, you know, there was no such great computer preparation. And, you know, you had to rely a lot on your intuition. So we have Kafka Tamura subscribing for tier 1. Can you please say hello? And did you just challenge me to the game here? Are you Fred Torsvik? Ah, you're Fred Torsvik. Okay, excellent. Thank you. All right. Let's go. You got to make 2 moves, okay? Otherwise, it gets aborted. It's chess.com algorithm. So yeah, so first 2 moves you have to make. I really don't like French, but okay, let's play some French, okay? Okay. So, bishop b4. Wait, it looks like I have 2 French almost. No, it's not too late. Okay. Yeah, there is not like half an hour for the Simul to join. But if you join the Simul after 11, then it has to be a quick 30-minute game. All right, so we have French here. People are thinking. Okay, good. So, Mr. Dillman, I think you actually should be okay in this game, yeah? Pretty much. Maybe. I have no idea, to be honest. It looks really weird. 5-card draw is not too late to join. But wait, you lost the star somewhere, man. Dude, get your star back. It's not easy to play it. Yeah, it's not easy, I agree. Not easy at all. Chess is hard, remember. But, you know, you have pair of bishops. My knight on g7 is kind of stuck, yeah? And especially a pair of bishops. And considering that there is huge potential to go into the endgame, your pair of bishops will become super strong. So I would say your chances are pretty good. All right, so let's grab the second pawn. Or we can try to use this knight to our advantage. This knight's bad position. But okay, why not just take the pawn, yeah? Alright, so that means 97. Usually means knight c6. Sometimes people play queen b6 here. And they go for the bishop d7, bishop e5. Trying to trade off bad French bishop, yeah? Alright. Mr. Dillman, thank you for gifting tier 1 sub to 5-card draw. Alright. Mishaga. I cannot for some reason click that thing. It's kind of weird. Alright, Mr. 5-card draw. You can challenge me. It won't let me accept it. Damn. It's a simul, yes, it is a simul. You send me a challenge, but I don't see the challenge. What's going on? There are open games. I see Mishaga challenge, which I cannot accept for some reason. I'm not sure why. Yes, bishop d4, that's what I thought. So I need to get my knight back, yeah. So let's get my knight back. 5-card draw. Did you send me yes? Did you send me a challenge? Right, Mr. Ivanov, good night. Mr. Tiran Mao, okay. Yeah, Mr. Tiran Mao challenge is working. Force me to trade. And then I'm gonna play classical c4 and trade this bishop, yeah. So you see, black position is very passive. That's why I engage in all these trades, okay? Because with every trade, I get more breathing room for the rest of my pieces. All right, Mr. 5-card draw. Waiting for your challenge then. All right, what is this position, yeah? Pretty crazy position. I think I need to activate my knight actually, so that's what we're probably gonna do. Bishop f5 they don't play for some reason. I think it's queen b3. It was some famous Capablanca game or something. Maybe take on d5 actually first, yeah? All right. This allows a check. You're TomPettyandChess.com. What? What are you feeling this time? You can go for 45, 45, 45, 60. It's okay, man. All right, castles. Grab. Yeah. 45 minutes is fine. Okay. Should I grab more pawns? Always a question, yeah? It's always a question. Probably I should. Alright, let's grab more pawns. Queen b3, extremely interesting move. Alright, let's play knight c6. Because Queen b3 is very standard in London, yeah, in Slav, but in French, I don't see it a lot. Feels kind of weird, man, to be honest. And it feels weird because of the structure, yeah? So Queen b6, okay, and now we run into this thing. White has a choice. I can take on d5 or I can take on b6 and just play the structure. So if I take on d5, knight d5, queen d5, e6, then we'll run into this. There's still extra pawn, right? It's still extra pawn, man. There's queen c4, e3, or queen b3, knight c6, e3, knight b4. Yeah, that's the only problem. That, you know, you have to know this line, because if you don't know this line, black can easily equalize and get the activity for the pawn. right, so 95, 95, queen t5, e6. Where's my queen going? That's the biggest question. I don't have many moves. Yeah, I have queen c4 and queen b3. Queen c4 I really don't think is right. It's in the way of the bishop. It's gonna fall for rook c8. So queen b3 is probably very likely correct move. And then black plays knight c6. Yeah, knight c6. He hits the pawn on d4. Because if I take on b6, a b6, and his rook enters the game, and there's the threat of knight b4 hitting the pawn and knight c2 check. So if I don't take on b6, I play e3. Now there's a problem. He can take on b3, play knight b4, and he can play knight b4 immediately. Both of these moves I really don't like because, you know. So, with that being said, that probably means I just have to take this guy. So that's what I'm gonna do. Alright, knight on e7 doesn't do much. So let's grab this bishop so I can finish the developments. Mr. Logic and Mr. Tom Petty. Alright, Mr. Tom Petty. Remember about the rule of 2 moves, okay. 2 moves or game gets aborted. And then we have the challenge from Mr. Logic. Alright, good evening, Mr. Logic. Alright, ready. Classics, right? Everybody loves classics. And then I'm gonna play c4. Grab more pawns. h6. Ah, you have h6. Yeah, h6 is a problem, yeah. So my queen is not protected. Alright, Mr. Dillman, you found some great idea. Damn. I think black is really fine now, yeah? Because my knight on g3 not going anywhere. And queen has not a single check on the c3, b2, h8 diagonal. If I get my queen on that diagonal, I think I'll be fine, but it's a big problem how to get the queen there, yeah. Alright, so knight e4 was not really a great move, it was just a cheapo. I had to play rook e1 or something solid. h6 just very strong. Because I don't have knight f6, because he just plays knight d8 and that's a huge pin and he wins the knight. Okay. Alright, so I have to be careful and try to look for ways to make a draw here. Which means I have to play c4 probably. Protect my queen. Usually queen goes to c8. This is usually not played. Because how are you going to protect your c2 square with the king? Alright, maybe. But black always has this London system idea, yeah? c4, b5, b4. Alright, so let's play a3. Bishop e7, okay. Yes, Mr. Pefimoso, you can play me one more. Hello, Mr. Gata, what's up? It's 45-45. Yeah, it's 45-45 now. Okay. You can choose any color, by the way. Accept your challenge, of course, Mr. Gata. Alright, let me make 2 moves with Mr. Alright, London system. Alright, very solid. And Mr. Pefimoso, right? All right, let's go. Sorry, I'm gonna grab some food because I think I had dinner. Before the Simul. Yeah, I'm making 2 moves with the newcomers and then I'm returning to the games, okay? Knight c3, knight c6. Alright, 2 moves are done. You hope to finish your development, good. Why no CGMs play French anymore? Serious Grandmasters? That's what you call them, SGMs? How does an 800, 900 player survive so long against me and come up with strong moves? Because they use time and use the brain. Because it's not a blitz. You actually, you know, this is a Simul like an old school. You're given an hour of time, or 45 minutes in this case, and you actually use time and try to think, okay? That's pretty much the secret. All right, so it's castles, b5, queen b6, okay. And then there is this little move called d4 here, yeah? So c5. Yeah, I'm thinking bishop d3 here, actually. Then you have some f6, all that stuff. Yeah, I used to play g3 here. I think I like g3. Extremely solid. Because in case black goes for the break, like f6, you know, usually in French they try to break your center. So... Yeah, but Mr. Dilmont, if you want to draw, you just play rook e8. So you're playing for a win, yeah? Okay. How shall we respond to this aggression? Interesting question. Big question. You know what? This knight on e4 doesn't do a single damn thing. So I'm gonna bring this knight back. And I admit that I was wrong. All right, b6. All right, but what's the point of b6? Can I just go h4 here and not claim my central allocation of pieces yet? Mr. Dillman is way stronger than 800. He is very close to 21, 2200. But the only way we find out if he finally decides to play in an OTB tournament. Hello, Mr. Sergeant Major Dilemma. Yeah, yeah. And in this Simul, guys, you guys can use the engines. That's fine, provided you don't use it like all the time and you use it for educational purposes. You have to understand the moves suggested. Okay, it's learning learning experience for sure. Yes, if you want to play bishop d7, you should play bishop d7 before knight a6, because knight on a6 is very, very awkward move. You really want the knight on c6 so you can play knight a5. And also you usually play bishop f5 and then king d7 or something like that, okay? All right, so c5, knight a7, b4, knight c3, f5, okay. There we go. f5. Which means that our center will remain stable, but he wants to completely lock down the position, yeah? Potentially, after f5, the knight goes to e4. And he will be protected. I see. Yeah, so this is a strategic dilemma for white. You know, how to proceed, how to play this position correctly. It's not so simple. I still think that in general I would like to trade here. In general, knight g6. All right, now black is sort of ready to go after my bishop, so you have to be careful a little bit. So make sure this bishop stays alive. And white just wants to trade absolutely everything. Mr. Gata light. You're playing safe. I like that. Safe is good. Safe is very good. Alright, so let's grab. And choose develop, yeah? Question where? Maybe try to win a tempo. There is some knight a5, could be annoying. So how about bishop d3, yeah? Just try to control the center, sort of. Saying, alright, let's get this bishop. Rook here. And b5. Alright, now the question is, in this position, how does black want to play? We can play aggression, like h5. Or we can castle and then try to go for f5, yeah? I think both are viable ways, but you need to analyze it. And I don't usually analyze stuff, apart pretty much lately these days. So h5, f6, and then h4, g5, like played like a dragon, yeah. But okay, I like to castle and play very, very safe chess. Seems very likely a4 is coming pretty soon. But even if he plays it, we can play b5. So we need to get rid of this bishop. How do you do that? So he's gonna play a4 and put the bishop on a3, right? All right. So one way is to try to solve this problem is to play f5. That sort of stops any white aggression in the bud. Yeah. Any aggression he can possibly have is stopped. Fg6 sometimes with the idea of here. I don't know, man. This diagonal looks kind of funky. But maybe you're trying to play 5, rook c1, queen d6. Take and then knight hits something. Fine, I'll just take here. I'll be very, very safe, yeah. Playing extremely safe. All right. What is this position? I had a similar game I played against Kramnik. It was quite a long time ago. It was something similar. Alright, castle. Right, take. Can't believe your ears? What? What do you mean you can't believe your ears? A4. Okay. So this bishop on d6 is a kind of big problem, yeah? So how are we going to solve this problem? Knight h8, knight f7 seems pretty reasonable. But knight on f7 kind of sucks. On the other hand, knight on g6 sucks also. But the f7 square I kind of wanted to leave for my king. So maybe knight goes to c8 instead, yeah? Queen d7 is kind of weird. You know what? I'm just gonna play preparation move like a3. Sometimes they do that. In such positions, knight h6. So c4 and b5 is extremely interesting, but probably just take, or bishop g4. Probably just take, yeah. Wow, a5. You really want my bishop, yeah? This guy really, really wants my bishop. And you're also ready to play knight g4 at some point. Okay. So how I need to start attacking something, otherwise I'm just like a sitting duck. If I castle, the problem with castling is there's knight g4. Yeah, that's the problem. And I need to solve my king situation. Dilemmas, not so simple. Not simple at all. I mean, one of the ways is to try to play bishop e5, but black is sort of ready to hit these guys. And it's unclear. Unclear. Yeah, probably right. Probably bishop e5 had to be played, yeah. Knight g5. What is knight g5? If I attack. Alright, let's play c5 finally. And you do have the file, Mr. Dillman, yeah? You got the file. I have no loft. Will that be a problem? Pretty big question. Mr. Tom Petty, I forgot that after 95 you have knight takes c5, knight f3 check. But is that the end of the line though? Did you really calculate until the end? Because 95, bishop d7, if you take the bishop, I just have extra queen, so it's knight f3 check, king d1, and now you can either take the bishop or take the queen. If you take the bishop, I play queen f2, I have extra queen. If you take the queen, I take on e6 with the check, and then I take the knight, and everything is equal. But I do have an e6 pawn, so I think you blundered a little bit. My friend, I think you committed a blunder. Yes, but this is not a Berlin, Mr. Dillman. And I don't have an extra pawn. Knight f5. So, the whole point behind the structure, why it is so good for black, and is because that double pawn is very useful. You trade on c3, And then you play b4, and white's entire kingside pawn structure is like pretty much gone. Okay. Yeah, I'm talking about which game I'm talking about? This game. All right. See, this pawn chain is basically Mr. Nefedov. It's been a long time. So check. Right, f5. I like f5 actually. I think f5 is a great move. So I gotta take, right, Mr. Dillmans? Take. Yes, and Mr. Logic in this position, the problem of c5 is that with the bishop on g2 you can actually play queen a6 and then go b6. Okay? You don't have to necessarily take this queen here. Even queen c7, queen c8 is a little bit passive, it's playable. But mostly it's about queen a6 and b6, because in standard positions in Slav, this bishop is on this diagonal, right? It's on diagonal of 1 a6, and that queen has no this choice. All right, so again, so let's grab. So it's what, queen e2, right? Knight b5. Then it's f4. It's unbelievable. I play this line. I learned this line since when I was a kid. When I learned this whole line. And I still play it because I like it. Mr. Tom Petty, you should consider bishop c5, removing this bishop from power. Okay. Because now my king is extremely safe here. He's hiding behind your own pawn. And you have no knight to dislodge my king. See what I'm saying? Very safe king. Extra pawn potentially. Makes white's advantage pretty significant. Hello, Mr. Rinat Hassanov. You mean a game was transposed from Berlin to something? Not sure. No, I meant that this particular game is not Berlin, right? I think knight a5 was not accurate, Mr. Dillman. Why not play rook e2 immediately, yeah? And hit my pawns, because you sort of get a tempo. But Mr. Nefedov, don't they usually take on f4 or something? What are you doing? Check. Oh my god. Oh, okay. I understand what you're trying to do. You're gonna play this crazy line, yeah? Sacrifice. Ugh. You know what? I'm not gonna accept your sacrifice. I'm gonna keep my knight, so you don't get that sacrifice in. All right, so let's close this bishop. Yeah, you know what? You can keep this pawn. I don't want it. I don't want your pawn, man. All right, so king where? Big question. D2 or E2? Probably E2. Wow, you allow bishop f7 check. You don't care. Okay, man. Pretty interesting. You do want to play h4 because I don't have g4, yeah? Also very interesting. After the check on f7, where does your king go exactly? Probably d8, right? And then goes to c7. very likely scenario. Yeah, and if you play h4, then g4. This is all probably theory, which I don't really know, obviously. I suspect this is all theory. What if I play caveman style? Yeah, can I just play caveman style? Can I just play d4 here or something? All right, let's develop my pieces. f4 is also very interesting immediately. And then bishop g4 or something, yeah. Then knight d5. Okay, let's develop. I'm a big believer in the development. Knight e2 allows knight c6. Hit the pawn. Finally, we can bring in the rook. All right. And if I play b3 here, also rook c1 is extremely interesting. Mr. Dillman, I suspect you're giving me too much here. I suspect you're giving me a little bit too much in this position. Because after rook c1, what are you gonna do? You resigned. 5-card draw. Yeah, you had a good position, man, but you went for this. You went for the tactics while you have 47 minutes. If you just spend a little bit more time here, you will see that you are not worse. Okay, if you just move your queen, I don't understand why the difference between c7 and b7 is so large, to be honest. But as you can see, if you play top two lines, white's advantage is minimal. All right. And the whole point is basically you need to dislodge this bishop and then go for c5, b4, b4. And if your knight ever ends up on e4 and bishop here, black is just potentially better. See, this is very complicated structure. So you basically lost in one move. You played this and you see this, yeah? Immediately +1. Because you blundered the pawn. This is a pawn. Big advantage. So tactics, okay? Your strategy was okay, but your tactics requires work. Okay, so keep solving those puzzle rushes, okay? And get a book on the calculation. You know, the general calculation. Like dynamic position. Yeah, 5, 6, 7 moves deep, yeah. Not puzzle rush. Puzzle rush is for quickies, but you know, those training books. All right, thank you for the game, man. All right, am I missing something? Dominic Lazar. Who is Dominic Lazar? Is Mr. Dominic Lazar my Twitch subscribers? On which days I play Simul with my subscribers? It varies, man. I play today because 95 runs into 94, which I don't really like. I play today because on the weekend I have to go to play in the tournament. Not in the tournament, but the team competition, okay? That's the reason why I play today. Alright, g4. I cannot allow this. Alright, so now we need to find a way how we can get to this pawn. That usually means bringing in the knights. Probably should grab this pawn. But if I play b3... d5, okay. Alright, I missed this move. It was a pretty good move, yeah. All right, so oh. Alright, so I gotta play b3 anyway, probably. e4. Very, very dangerous move. Maybe playable though. 95 allows knight g4. Is it really that dangerous though? Probably not, yeah. Probably you're correct. But okay, let's trade the knight for the bishop. Alright, so wait, who is Dominic Lozar? Yeah, just look for calculation books, man. There are not that many. And look at the reviews and just look at it like any good book you want to buy. You know, just do research. I can't really give you the names. I know some books by Agard are good, but you know, again, I'm a little bit probably biased or something. So so you got to do your research, okay? b6, and if you play a5, you're fine. You're very likely to be fine, yeah. But is it really so? All right, bishop belongs on f4 usually. Queen to h2. Okay. But I don't have an extra pawn, right? So queen h2. Oh well, you're hitting my rook also. That's not very pleasant. All right, so bishop e3, protecting the rook, looks pretty logical. And the knight goes to c4. So let's grab this knight. Mr. Dillman, what do you think about knight a7? It's kind of a move that can easily fall out of your candidate move selection. But it's kind of move that you have to consider, always. Okay? Alright, so it's gonna be probably bishop b5 first, to make sure your knights are pinned. Okay, grab. I mean, just relax, okay? Just breathe. It's just a game, man. Yeah. Yeah, panic mode, Mr. Panic. Are you affecting Mr. Dillman? Hope not. All right. So white is really pushing for the initiative on the king side, which is a good decision. I completely agree with this expansion. I think it is absolutely correct. All right, so let's grab this pawn. Finish the developments. Rooks belong on the open files. Rook goes to b8. Mr. Dominic Lozar, the Simul for the Twitch subscribers. If you're my Twitch subscriber, please say hi in the chat, raise your hand so I can see your star. Okay. And then we can start. All right, so grab. And Mr. Pefimoso, you should be aware of this pattern where whenever you have open file and potentially can play bishop g4 and pin the queen, it is extremely powerful because it's not easy at all to get rid of that pin. Okay. A5 actually looks pretty good, but I think rook c8 is better. Although a5, a4 is very tempting. Yeah. Yeah, let's play a5, a4. Because you need to extend your bishop's sphere of influence, okay? Alright, so the knight on a6 is terrible. We need to bring him back. So let's do that. Rook b2. And as I mentioned, bishop g4. Alright. Remember, we talk a lot about pinning for winning. Okay, this is one of those situations. This is why you need the queen on d7 to prevent h3, to make sure this bishop is not going to be dislodged easily. Alright. And now, thanks to the spin, you're threatening potentially to play the knight d4 or double the rooks and just start hitting this guy. Okay. That's pretty much it. All right, so logic, you calculated b5 obviously, yeah? So what was your end result of that calculation? I mean, it's probably the only move that makes sense to me. I mean, I can probably take on b6 and play knight a4, but again, looks like black is fine there. I could be wrong though. All right, so now you see how we got to black's pawns, yeah? We're sort of slowly creeping up on these pawns. He played king g3. I don't really like this move. I mean, it's possible, yeah? You do need rook and then h5 or something. Alright, so knight c6 has to be played. I need to sort of get your knight to worry about this. Then I need to think of the defense that I can do for my pieces there, yeah? Yeah, so if I take on e3, you take, and you're probably fine. You're probably fine. But what happens if I don't take this bishop? What happens, for example, if I play this move? Or just rook f7 even, yeah? Yeah, rook f7 looks pretty good actually. Yeah, rook h1, okay. Alright, so we got a problem, yeah? If he plays h5, then my king is sort of in a huge danger. So we have a certain problem. This is pretty much standard French situation, okay? Both sides got something in return for something. I think I have to play h5 probably. But Mr. Logic, why are you allowing me to play c6? Mr. Kafka Tamura, so now you're aware, yeah? The reason why queen b3 might be problematic, okay? This idea that I showed you is very standard in Slav defense, okay? And in London systems. Always these double pawns, either white or black, they always go and hit the c6 or c3 pawn. And it's considered in general to be extremely dangerous if you allow this, okay? In general, double pawns are not good, but in this particular case, they're very strong. Right? Just keep that in mind. Hope that was a good lesson. All right. I have a feeling Mr. Dillman is trying to... Rook c7 is actually a great move, yeah? So, okay, let's probably take this knight. That means I can take here and then take on b5, and then you have no way of getting to this pawn. But why give up the strong bishop if you just play c7 immediately, yeah? It's kind of crazy. So a5. So the calculation starts, yeah? a5, king here, then king comes. My knight is still stuck. And then king comes and grabs the knight, yeah? Can I save this knight? Well, b6 is also a threat, so a5 is probably necessary. This allows bishop c7, and we finally take this poor pawn. Mr. Dillman, that's a fair observation. So unless I see a clear refutation, I kind of agree with your reasoning. But the thing is, these endgames, they're probably calculable, okay? Which means concrete calculation beats the strategic reasoning. All right. So, gotta calculate very accurately. So he's preparing knight f4 now that he sort of got this pawn. So how does black play here? The only solution I see, this knight is not that great. Knight on c4 is doing something. But probably the correct thing to do would be to play go for the standard b5 thing, yeah. So let's do that. So king or f4, which one should it be? Probably king f1. Why are you allowing me to take this pawn for free? Okay, I will take it. Yeah. All right. We have some results. Thank you for the game, Mr. Fred Torsvik. Bishop takes versus Mr. Nefedov. Close this game. We have a game versus Mr. Logic. Mr. Logic is a very busy man, so I understand why he didn't go for the bc5 instead of cb5. But logic, please analyze the list and look for your mistakes. Okay. I mean, we can probably take a quick look instead. Yeah, b5 with cb6. Yeah, I thought about it. cb6 was also very strong, yeah. Yeah, usually the standard way to play this is to play rook c8 here, actually. Or like the computer says, instead of knight b8, you have b4. Okay? And you sort of keep the extra pawn. You keep something you're suffering for. Rook c8, why not? Because you're taking b6, right? So I gotta play this rook, yeah? Right, 85, and if you take... See, how many people would find this h3, g4 idea? I pretty much guarantee you that very, very few people would find this. The idea of g5 hitting this whole thing. But yes, white is better. Okay, so cb and b4 was extremely interesting. Certainly white has compensation, but this is kind of a bit loose knight now, yeah? But it's very hard to get to him because of this pawn. So this is sort of standard structure where white's considered to be better, and the computer sort of agrees with that statement, yeah? Because rook can go to c6, you play b3, this knight is pretty much untouchable, and white has a lot of space and very far advanced pawn, which is impossible to win. So again, very complicated. All right, rook c2. So what should black do? Ideally should just push the pawn. Push the extra pawn, man. So he's trying to go knight f4, hit this guy. Yeah, this is very unpleasant situation for black. This pawn is extremely dangerous. Okay, wasn't sure why you didn't play knight d5, to be honest, or rook h2, trying to prevent me from castling, but I guess you have your own reasons, yeah? Well, I'm gonna play king d2 anyway, because I need to fight for the file, yeah? Alright, so queen b3, you hit this guy. Pretty good idea. The question, should I play rook f8, rook b8, yeah? Unclear. I think just rook b8 maybe, but then queen e3. Fine, rook f8, yeah. Alright, let's keep pushing the pawn, maybe hit the knight. If I push, you have knight c6. Alright, let's hit this guy. Withdraw. Расти большой. Так. c5 potentially. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. White has a pawn. Black has certain Degree of activity, probably. Not sure how much it is. It's something, yeah. Yeah, so I need to rearrange my pieces. My bishop on e2 kind of sucks. My bishop e2 sucks, but he's still my bishop, so I have to treat him well. So one of the things to do, to consider at least, is to play this move. And try to improve my bishop. This is a very interesting move. Very interesting move. And the knight goes to g5, yeah? Potentially. Yeah, it appears that white is better. Okay, let's see this. Take. And bishop b3. Make sure the bishop is protected. I wanted to play bishop c4 here. King to e2. And knight to d2, right? That makes sense, doesn't it? Everybody agrees? Agrees. So, the French is very, very hard to play because so many possibilities to go a little bit inaccurate, and suddenly white is just a tiny bit inaccurate, and suddenly black has knight on e4, and suddenly black has chances to survive, yeah? Because knight on e4 controls g5 square, and he also hits c3 pawn. All right. One of the things to remember in this endgame is that you have to play slowly. You don't have to rush with your pawns immediately. All right. As they say, easy does it. You improve your position slowly. That's the magic trick. All right, so hit this knight because he's coming anyway. Check. And just centralize the rook. But, okay. So you're ready to sacrifice me your exchange, right, Mr. Panic? After I take on g4, you're ready to play king g4, knight f2, knight h1, right? Do I understand you correctly? Is that your plan? I mean, it's possible, yeah. Also, you can sacrifice the exchange. Your position is so strong, yeah? I don't know, but what is your next move if I play b5? You know? I can do... this, yeah? a5. a5. A bandito named Nefedov. It's playing extremely interesting endgame. El bandito. All right, you know what? I'm gonna just play old old man way. I'm gonna play c3 here. Although I kind of need to get rid of this knight on d5 though, to be honest. Dilemmas always. Also a4, like you're trying to discourage me from playing a4, but is it really that bad? Why do I have to trust you on that? Yeah, why do I have to trust you on that? I think a4 is a pretty good move actually. So let's play a4. Alright, rook d1, trying to attack my queen. Yeah, knight f6 or something. But that means 94, 95. Means crazy stuff, yeah? Alright, queen c8. Alright, trades is good. Trades is fine. F5, okay. But if I take, I just have extra pawn, yeah? And do you have counterplay? I'm not sure. But I don't have to take this knight, obviously. F3 is also possible. Also, what is your next move? You're not gonna play f4, so let's play a4. Push it to the limits. Bring the king go. If the king gets somewhere to c5, I feel pretty confident about my position. Alright, bishop g4. Looks good. Rook h4 is a jerk knee reaction move. Can it be good? I don't know. No idea. Very strange position, to be honest. I don't know how to approach it. It's knight on d5, super strong, yeah. Super strong knight. But I think rook h4 is viable. Then you take rook f8 actually, and then this rook comes here. It's like, I don't know, rook a rook f1, okay, fine, let's play it. 92. Rook b2. Why are you giving me whole knight? Is my stream working? Yeah, my stream is working. Okay, good. Alright, chat is stopped. Yeah, everybody is thinking. Good. I'm glad everybody is thinking. So the first order of business is to stabilize my position at a certain level, and then I can think about moving on and improving it. All right. What is this? All right, king is 6. Anyway. Grab. Grab. Rook b7. Something. All right, I'm very, very confused. I am very confused. And if I just play rook b8, okay. Alright, so let's play a5. Take. Ah. So that was your plan. Okay. I see now. All right, very interesting. I don't know. All right, guys, you're giving me some serious questions to which I have no answers. You guys are posing questions to which I don't have answers. King d6 or king d5? King d6, knight a5, and then my bishop has to move. Yeah. Where is that bishop moving? Which is why I'm kind of like king d5, but after knight a5, again, same problem. I don't know, but king d5 seems to be more accurate. Mr. Panic New, why are you giving me your whole rook? All right, what is this? What is this? Okay. I didn't think knight d2 was possible, to be honest. I kind of dismissed this move as very unlikely. But I can see that I was wrong, yeah? The unlikely move has become very likely. Damn. Problems, yeah? Problems, right. Amazing. Amazing what one inaccurate move can do. White is still probably a little bit better, yeah, but it's not that much anymore. All right, rook g1, yeah. You were holding the knight on e5, calculating accidentally released the button. Hello, Mr. Noristra, thank you. Ah, all right, Mr. Panic New, I got it. Yes, but okay. It's important, right? So you're now aware of this possibility. That's actually what happens in a lot of grandmasters in the blitz games. That's how they blunder. They forget to make the intermediate trade or something. It's a common mistake. So now that you're aware of it, now you know how to, be careful about it, okay? Now you're aware of this. mistake. All right. Yeah, I just make sure I don't blunder stuff here. Like knight f3, bishop f3, bishop f3, queen f3. Yeah. I mean, even that is not so clear because I just take on d5. I got extra piece. So actually, it's possible. Yeah. But we managed to block Mr. Dillman's pawn, and he still doesn't have access to my knight, which is good news, I think. What? Oh, okay, yeah. All right, so grab the pawn, yeah. Bishop d3. Mr. Gata lied. I was pretty sure rook takes c5, rook takes h5 was probably a draw immediately. Pretty sure that was an immediate draw because you keep in mind that in order to make a draw, you have to trade all the pawns, okay? Plus, it would be a good trade. You're trading your double pawn for the pretty good pawn. Which means I messed up somewhere, pretty much. Oh my god, what is this move? Alright, check. You don't have any threats, right? So I can just play c4 and push the pawn. Because I got two pawns, Mr. Nefedov. And they go together, hand in hand. What if you're playing for a win? What? Alright, just to be out of curiosity in this position. See, your position is plus 1.5. All you had to do was to take on f5 first and then play knight f4, okay? That's what I was afraid of. And now you allow me to take and play knight d2. And its evaluation is much lower now. But, oh, you had to find rook e1. You see what machine says? You have to sacrifice the exchange here because your knight, bishop, and your pawns are here extremely dangerous. And after this position, it's black better. See, that's French because if you don't use your advantage, you lose, okay? That's why openings like this are very double-edged. All right, just keep pushing pawns. Make sure you hit this. So the question, how do I bring my horse into the game? Good question. Probably gotta be active. Proactive. Still doesn't quite seem right. That does not seem right. maybe actually rook h6. No, rook d6 looks okay. Yeah, rook d6 is fine. Alright, so d6. You're trying to give me some mate threats or something. I don't know. Just play d6, yeah. Yeah, the thing is, I saw that if I play rook b7, you have knight c1. Yeah, I forgot about that. So I gotta take. So what is this position? Where should my king go? King d4, b6. Some nifty mating idea. Does it work? Who knows? It's curious, yeah. Interesting idea. I don't know. Maybe it works actually. Okay, how do you win this winning position? Big question. Which is related to the questions how to win winning positions. Gotta calculate, that's how. So king d4, b6, c5, rook d3, king c4, bishop f3, cb6, bishop e2, king c5, rook c3, king d4. Looks winning, yeah? The other move is king d4, c5 immediately. Ooh, king c5, e3 with idea of b6. No, that's not a threat. So b6, king c6, e3, bishop d5 should be winning. King d4. So king d4, e3 with the threat of c5 and b6 mate. That is very, very pretty. Very pretty. Which means I'll have to play c5 anyway at some point. Yeah, Mr. Nefedov, you're creating some masterpiece, yeah? By accidents or somehow you're creating certain masterpiece. My God. Kind of scared to play king d4, but I don't think I have a choice actually. Two rook e1, check. Well, okay, let's see it. Yeah, I mean, it's just a game. All right, rook f4, rook c8, activate the rook. Also rook e8 with idea of rook e4 is also very interesting, but rook c8 looks pretty solid. Why don't you just take the bishop? What? Why don't you just take the bishop, Mr. Turan Mao? What are you doing? I don't understand this move. You can't play right now? Okay. When you play session next time? Mufasa, what's up? Sorry. Yeah, if you came early, you could play, but now it's a little bit late. Yeah. Usually I start Simuls around 9:30, 9:45, so check around that time, okay? Because it's a bit late after that. Yeah. So catch me next week, okay? I'm doing the Simul next week because I'm not doing it this weekend because I have a French club championship team game. But next week for sure. All right. Mr. Norista, A6 Life is terrible. Don't play it. Shibanenko now these days is not good, especially with the computers. It's just terrible choice now. Don't do it. Don't do it, man. It's no good. Alright, rook c3. I think is correct. Play something solid, like, you know, Nimzo, Queen's Gambit accepted, you know, what the GM's playing. Sure. No, next Sunday is actually also not good because potentially next Sunday is also Bundesliga. Alright? So it's very likely to be next Thursday again. Okay? It's kind of crazy because Bundesliga is like every 2 weeks now. It's very crazy. Alright, grab. Yeah, knight on a7 is like a serious piece of work, yeah. Right. Yeah, Nimzo is perfect. Nimzo is very, very solid opening. In fact, we have seen the games between Naka and Wesley. Naka played Nimzo, which was a huge surprise. Because Naka, I haven't seen a lot of Nimzos by Naka. Yeah. So he played against Wesley, it was like full prep. And it's extremely solid. The Nimzo, you have very high level of defense. What I'm trying to say is that it's very hard to beat Nimzo. Alright, so just centralize the bishop and focus on the king side. Yeah. It's probably the best idea that white and black can do right now. So king d4. Check. Check. Right, just hit the pawn, yeah. Alright. Alright, since we are not in a rush, I can play bishop d3 maybe. But also bishop d5 looks pretty good. Pushing that poor rook further away. Okay. Alright, so let's grab the pawn, yeah. you can grab a pawn. Usually, it's a good idea to do so. Although here was not necessary, probably. Queen b3. I would prefer queen c3. I mean, knight is easily protected, but now you cannot play b3. Mr. Tiran Mao. Right, Mr. Gata. So remember we spoke about this. The threat is there is actually no threat. Oh, there is no threat. Excellent. Means I can just play d7. Yeah. Probably. There is no threat. There is no mate. Good. King to b3. Alright, Mr. Dillman, I agree. It's time to play knight b5, probably. Yeah. It is time, dude, to bring back this poor bloody knight. I was thinking maybe you should have just played c3 and rook d7, okay, because I don't have the check on g4, g3, your pawn on h5 is there. You see what I'm saying? Alright. Thank you for the game, Mr. Gata. Thank you for the game, Mr. Tiran Mao. You defended well, but this move was very strange. You could take with a knight on a5, okay? And if b4, then you play something like knight c6. And you get some sort of counterplay. It's probably a lost game anyway, but you know, you get some chances at least, yeah? You get active rook and some chances, yeah? And this might be not even a win for white. But okay, knight c2 check is probably should be a win still, but it's not simple, yeah, because you have this knight c4 idea. And then white has to win this rook endgame, but there is a lot of fights, okay. Thank you for the game, Mr. Pefimoso. And Mr. Nefedov, he resigns. I felt that this endgame is not so simple. I couldn't quite understand why you did not play rook df8 with the idea of taking on f3 and then infiltrating with rook f3. It was kind of weird. Also, yeah, I felt that taking on a3 was definitely a step in the wrong direction. You had to play something for the blockade, yeah? And then something like knight b4 or knight e7. And then I have d5, okay. But I'm curious, what is this? Yeah, because if I take on c6, it's like double-edged. Yeah, but bishop c4 is correct. Oh, knight f7. Okay, knight f7 is hard to see. I think d4 and the computer plays bishop d2, long castle, which is also very strong, of course. I was looking for something like that. But rook g1 is also playable, yeah. And it's just extra pawn. You could make things a little bit more complicated for me, for sure. But knight d5 is also king d2, right? Yeah, that's the main idea, because I need to challenge your dominance over the h file. And rook h3. This was, yeah, that's what I was concerned about. I didn't see a3 though. And then c4 looks very strong, yeah. Still an important extra pawn, yeah. Also, this is hanging. Yeah, I mean, yeah, extra pawn, man. It's if you don't have something incredibly good, yeah, then this pawn always matters. All right, so probably it's time to start pushing the pawns here. Pushing the pawns. How do we do that? It's a good question. How do we do that? I think actually I need to repeat the position once. It's not actually repeating because I took pawn on h5, right? And now we put the rook on e5 because of the potential black infiltration on the e file. We don't worry about infiltration on the d file because that requires pawn, which means the king will get targeted by the attack. Okay. Now I can just push the pawn. Because c3 check on rook e7 is no longer relevant. But still not so simple. Because of the active king, yeah. Do you play 3 check or king of the heel? No, I don't, Mr. Pefimoso. Partner, the Nimzo, Queen's Indian. I would say Bogo. I mean, if you want to play Queen's Gambit, then why would you need Nimzo? I mean, the only sense it would make to pair Nimzo with Queen's Gambit decline if you play Rogozin, right? Bishop b4, d5, c5. And that line you sort of need to know, regardless, yeah, because that line was like really popular in the 80s. They stopped playing it, but sometimes you can see people still play it because it requires memorization and people don't prepare for everything. Yeah, just impossible. But Bogo is fine. Also, you know what I think? I think that when you're like it's really not that high rating, kind of having a narrow repertoire is better. Narrow and sort of specialized and very dynamic. You know, like Benoni, like even King's Indian or Grunfeld. You know, just specialize in that opening and then you don't have to worry about any other openings. Okay? I think that's not a bad idea. All right. Okay, Mr. Nifyorov, got it. Well, you gotta check it. You gotta check it. That's fine. And I checked it after the game, yeah, and it seems like, Black struggles with the compensation. I mean, my horse on e5 is just amazingly strong. It takes away all those squares. G4, C4, yeah, critical G4 square, pretty much. Yeah. What elo do you think you play when giving Simul? I have no idea. But, usually for people with the elo of 2100 to play in the Simuls, they consider it like, it's not really. They have a lot of self-respect to do that. Okay. So you don't often see that. All right, so yeah, it's still not simple. Yeah, still not simple. The king is just too bloody active, man. And if his rook ever gets to the first rank, my king on c1 sucks. But I couldn't really. I need to trade the a pawn and give up the rook for the c pawn, and my king should be on the king side, helping push those guys. But it's not really happening. That's not really happening. Yeah. All right, let's see it. G3. Nah. Yeah, I think black is okay. Yep. I think black is okay. But you need to be very, very active, yeah? You need to be very, very active. I'm not sure why are you spending so much time thinking. Okay. I'm not gonna rush you for sure. Please think as long as you like. Yeah. If you want to put yourself in a position where you have no time and you'll have to just play intuitive chess, you're setting yourself up for a situation where you're gonna make a mistake. Yeah. All right, let me get some chocolate. Need some chocolate. Chocolate. Yeah. Yeah, rook f7, of course. I mean, not much to think. You just gotta play this move, man. not much to think. Yeah, I thought that I have rook e2, but then you have rook f5, rook a5. Yeah, that was the big problem. You're hitting the pawn and you're activating your rook. That was a big problem. So check. You don't have many moves. You can, when the move is obvious, you gotta make it, man. All right. I mean, king a4 would be definitely too weird to play. So king c4, from g5. Again, you don't have many moves. Спасибо, солнышко. Это мои, с которые с этими, да? О, ты купил вот эту штучку, да? Спасибо, солнышко мое. I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely love chocolate with embedded, you know, fruits or raisins. Embedded. It's just so incredible. Yeah, rook e7, of course. So rook e5 back. So this is the position, yeah. What is this position? Right. Okay. Yeah, because I don't think I'm fast enough to do any damage to your position. So rook e3. Yeah, the c pawn is extremely dangerous, yeah, because you have king b3, c2 check, and rook here. It's a very famous pawn in the rook endgames. Extremely dangerous. All right. So, good night, Mr. Nefedov. Rezinets guy? I have no idea what that means. I have no idea what you're talking about. Well, I gotta push the pawn, yeah? I kind of disagree with king b3 move, Mr. Dilmont. I would have played rook d7 immediately and try to get the rook to d2 and g2. But I think it's possible. Probably the result is the same, but I don't know. It's kind of complicated now, yeah? Because my pawn is rushing really fast. If my pawn gets to f6, f7, it's very likely a win for white. Although even then, if you get the rook on f2, yeah, anything goes, yeah. If I get the pawn to f6, g5, it's probably a win for white. Even, and again, I don't know. Yeah, if I get pawns with f6, g5, then I can sack the rook for the pawn and just push those guys, yeah? But there are lots of studies where even then it's not so clear, because mating king threats, king comes, and then like crazy situations, yeah. Crazy situations. Do you guys see this line that I see? Yeah, rook d7. Okay. Rook e5. See, originally I wanted to play f6, but then I realized you have a certain idea. So I gotta play probably rook e5. Because f6, rook d2, f7, rook f2, rook e7, and black has a very beautiful b5 now. Wait, there is also mate on f1, of course, yeah? So, I mean, if f6, rook d2, rook e7, he has b5 here, okay? That's what I mean. ab6, rook f2, threading mate on the first, rook e1, rook a2, and black wins. Very famous idea. Because it's a c pawn. Yeah, Mr. Dillman, I think you made a draw. I think draw is yours. Just have to make a few accurate moves and it should be a draw. Should be easy draw. I just don't have any chance to win this, yeah. The king is so frigging passive. Yeah, okay. So Mr. Dillman is last guy standing, right? As usual. Pretty much. Rook g7? Really? I mean, yeah, it's also possible, yeah. Rook g7 is also probably a draw. Yeah, so just a draw, yeah. Smoke and mirrors. That's basically what I'm doing here. Do you have any advice how to beat tilt against certain opponents? When I play someone who have bad scores, seems just subconsciously resign play bad. That is a pretty famous problem, Mr. Pefimoso. A pretty famous problem. Sometimes you find somebody who just counters you completely. Yeah. What I can tell you is that what you have to do is just each game you play against that certain person, imagine somebody else and you just give it your full. All right? Play to the best of your ability and just forget this is the hard opponent. Okay? Just play him like you would play anybody else. Starting from the opening decisions, right? Play your best opening, prepare. When it comes to the middle game, again, play your best. Don't try to beat him. Just play your best chess, play the position, don't play your opponent, okay? I mean, once you master the game, then you can start implementing psychology and Lasker's approach of, playing against particular opponents. But before you do that, you need to know how to play. Okay? So, and what you do is that you just have to improve and play. And eventually at some point, if that guy doesn't improve or plays as much as you do, the results will change. Okay? That's pretty much it. That's the only thing I can tell you. So, Mr. Dillman, now is the moment, yeah? King b3 is correct. I think King b3 is the correct decision. So, can I play a6 here? Just push the guy. What are you gonna do? Well, I don't have many choices, yeah? I mean, the moves are, again, when there is only one move, you play this move. When there are two moves, then you think, okay? In this position, there is only one move that you can play. So just play it. Is Nepo Ding VC match for you? Sure it is. Mr. Ipshi, your parents living on vacation and you have to cook your own dinners. Okay, good. Hi, Bishi. Well, I respect your opinion, but to me that is a World Chess Championship match. All right. All right. So King D3. Wait, this is actually. Oh my god, this is actually a study. Damn. Mr. Dillman, you just helped me create a study. I've never seen this idea. I mean, it's probably still draw, but... Actually, I thought it was dead draw, but I'm no longer sure. Damn. No, this is incorrect. You should play rook f3 check first, because you allow rook c3 check, okay? But more than that, my idea is that I have this move. I mean, rook c3 and rook takes 8. Rook c3 check was probably a win, okay? Which is why I thought that you should give a check first, make sure my king moves to d4, and then you can take on f7, okay? And then I give a check on b7, and if you play king a2, it's a7 with the idea of a check. That's why I said it's a study, yeah, because you have this check, which normally you don't have in these endgames, but because of this pawn, you have this possibility. So after king d4, rook b7, take, queen, and then king a2, and then we have the queen endgame. And I don't know what is this queen endgame. If I can trade the queens, it's a win, obviously, yeah. But if you can avoid the queen trade, this is, with the h pawn, it's probably just dead draw. Because it's h pawn, yeah. The h pawn sucks. But it's kind of crazy. I thought it was just easy draw, but it's not that easy, yeah. I'm very surprised, actually. Yeah, so rook c. I should have played rook c2. Just got the c2 pawn, yeah. And this is probably draw. Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. All right, so where should my queen be? Actually, I don't know. All right, so check. I have to give you this check, yeah. Gentlemen, we have reached a very rare queen and pawn versus queen endgame. I think it's the first time we have this endgame in our simuls. And we had simuls for the last 3 years. If I'm not mistaken, this is the first or second only time when we have reached this endgame. the stockfish would not just beat me, it would beat pretty much everybody. Because the computers are naturals at this. So stockfish will beat pretty much 99% of the chess population in any endgame where it has extra pawn. Extra pawn and queen, which, you know, there are theoretical chances, because for a machine, theoretical chance turns into pretty much a win. All right. How the hell do I play this? My god, this is... I hate queen endgames. They are the hardest to play, man. They are the hardest endgames to play. Alright, so check. 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 Yeah, I do not understand this position. Queen e4 makes no sense to me. I know I need to keep this guy occupied, yeah, but how I'm gonna protect my pawn on h4? My god. It looks just like... Alright, you know what? I'm just gonna be dumb. I'm gonna play caveman style. You know, when you don't know what to do, just play caveman, play stupid, simple moves, and just, you know, don't think too much, okay? Because if there's a pattern in this position and you don't see it, just play something. And then maybe you'll find it. You want to win in 15 moves. Resign and rest based by test. No. No, but you need to learn how to defend the endgames, okay? So, you know, get some books, run them with the engine, and see, and try to understand the patterns how to defend. In my career, the whole career of professional chess player, in classical chess games, I had probably 2 or 3 times situations where I had to play a queen's endgame. Couple of games where I had a queen and pawn, and a couple of games where I had to defend against queen and pawn. And I can tell you those were not the happiest memories, yeah? These things were notoriously difficult. All right, so you know what, I'm gonna play queen g5 here. This was my plan. You know, because I'm afraid to blunder something, so what you do is you protect pawn with your queen, and your queen is protected with the pawn. That's sort of like the start, yeah? Then, what I do know is that I run with my king and try to use black king as a shield. Like if he gives me a check here, for example, and my king is on h5, then I have queen g4 counter checking him and this, yeah. So there are a lot of tricks. H pawn is like the worst pawn in the queen endgame to have for an advantage, because you cannot really push this pawn and hide behind it. Okay, that's the worst part. You cannot hide your king behind it. So it's the worst pawn to not pawn. It's the worst pawn to have to try to win. Okay. All right. More pawn. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, when you have to play this endgame, it's actually like a porn. Yeah, it's just like, forget it, man. I hate this endgame. Well, in fact, two rooks are considered to be stronger than the queen. But again, it depends, right? It's like there's always an exception. Always it depends on the position and on the game. There are no you know, rules which dictate what you do in every situation. There are some guidelines, but rules, no. All right. One of the major guidelines in Queen's Endgames, which I learned since I was a kid, is that you should do diagonal checks. Okay, guys, just remember this rule. You should always try to do the diagonal checks. Because those are the hardest to respond to. So we're running with the king, hoping for a safe spot. Hoping to find a sweet, safe spot. I'm sorry, Mr. Dillmans, that I'm putting you through this torture, but it is important, okay? It is important to get this practice, because you will get, all of you will get this endgame once or twice in your life in a classical game, okay? So you sort of need to get familiar a little bit with this. In blitz games, I had this also happen at least like 3 or 4 times. But in a blitz game, it's just impossible to play. Pretty much impossible to defend, okay? In the blitz game, queen endgames are impossible to defend. Pretty much. So try not to, you know, allow this, okay? Because you're gonna blunder check with a check, or something, or some defense, or some trick, which leads to the queen trade and then losing pawn endgame. All right, we got a chance to use our queen. Let's go. Let's go. Hmm. Well, I actually had a couple of games in the Blitz where people would test me for my bishop and knight. And sometimes when your head is like this and you're very tired and your eyes are tired and looking at the screen and it's sort of like all blurs into the same thing. Um, I do know the mating pattern, okay? That's the most important thing. So I'm trying to get to that position where I'm actually quite willing for people to get into the wrong corner, right? I'm willing to allow them to get to the wrong corner because I know the method how to, how to mate from the wrong corner, okay? So I'm very happy if they go for that. But it's the thing when the king is like around the center and he runs around and you have to like push him, yeah, and he keeps like stepping sideways. That's the biggest problem. All right, so king g5. You guys see what I'm doing? Now queen is ready to protect the king with the check. Queen is ready. All right. So king f4. Which is why I am pushing my king somewhere here so that any checks he gives, my queen again will counter, keeping an eye on this king. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. Probably king g3. I'm trying to see if this has any chance. Yeah. If there's any chance. Okay. So, Mr. Dillman. Your checks are over, so you have to see, right? It is a draw. Obviously, white has the extra pawn, so it's advantage, but it is a draw. Right. I mean, this gets exponentially more difficult for black to defend us if the pawn is on h6 or h7, right? But it still should be a draw. So the big question is like when the pawns are on h6 or h7, and that's what the theory is all about. Okay? But the pawn on h4 is pretty easy draw. But with the pawn on h6 or h7, this becomes very hard to play. So I imagine Mr. Dillman can find the defensive idea now, which is pretty simple. Exactly, Mr. Dillman. Exactly. So Mr. Panic New, you're checking the database. I'm very curious to see how the computer evaluates the queen endgame with the pawn on h6 or h7. I think it's still a draw, but the king has to be somewhere like on a2 or b2, right? Pretty much. It's like based on the old Averbach books I read when I was a kid. Yeah. Your king should be somewhere on a2, b2, so it's a perfect place to avoid most defensive checks. No, Mr. Mufasa. Mufasa, I'm not up for that challenge. I understand it's a pretty good streamer's trick to do the workout, but I refuse to do that. Maybe when I have more energy. Mr. Dillmans, how about if every time Mr. Dill makes a check, you do the push-up, okay? You want Mr. Dillman to do the push-ups? Why? You worry about his health? I mean, mental health is when you're playing Queen's End games. Mental health is at risk. I agree. I have to agree. Queen's endgames are like the worst. It's way worse than rook and bishop. If you think rook and bishop is hard, queen endgames is like probably 100 times harder. I would even call it maybe 1,000 times harder than rook and a bishop. Okay, these are the hardest endgames among all the endgames. All right. You didn't work out today lifting your car. As much we appreciate that information, Mr. Pifimoso. Yes, I actually was thinking about it today, guys. I'll probably do a series where I will go over my entire, candidates, FIDE, PCA, 90s, and then the challenger matches in the 2009 and candidates in 2011. Yes, I'll do those videos. I'm just not sure which format it should be because, King c5, correct, Mr. Dillman, absolutely correct. Because what you're doing now, you're bringing the king closer, and you can actually now trade the queens, okay? You can trade the queens now because once your king gets into the square of the pawn, it's just easy draw. Yeah, the king is yeah, with the pawn on h4, as I said, he is in the area where, yeah, he's in the area where he is in the square. All right. All right, so h5. I'll try to create some practical problems, but again, I'm not sure how much of a problem I can make. But I'll try. Of course, the most famous example of having a very difficult endgame, if you guys remember, that was the game that actually broke Nepo in his match versus Magnus. You guys will remember that endgame, right? I'll just play King d6, man, first. Probably this is okay. Yeah, so that endgame, remember Magnus had rook, knight, and pawns versus queen, right? And Nepo lost this critical game because after this game, Nepo just stopped the resistance. Yeah, it was absolutely critical game, and the computer managed to hold that game, but it's not easy at all. So, and that happened in the World Chess Championship match. White and black. All right. Yeah, with the pawn on h7, it gets really insane. Exactly. I mean, the concept of drawing zone is is a basic guideline with a lot of exceptions, quite likely. Okay. King g4. I'm trying to trick Mr. Dillman. Trying to trick Mr. Dillman. So, you know what you guys should do? You should basically, set up position with the queen and pawn and play both sides of it versus the computer, okay? Just practice it. And then analyze it a little bit with him, okay? And that will do you a lot of good, okay? Just set up the position with the queen and pawn and play both sides of it against the computer. It's a good investment. H5 was a mistake? Probably, but okay. Dude. All right. Queen g4. There's always someone who is gonna ask that question, yeah? This is from the series of Dude, Where is my car? I have no idea. Yeah, I have a feeling Mr. Dillman kind of misplayed it a little bit. But maybe nothing too worrying. Guys, check the evaluation. I think he misplayed a little bit. Yeah. I think Queen d3 check was not correct. I mean, it's still a draw, but... See? Very simple, yeah? Very simple. Queen d3, absolutely logical. And now, boom. And the problem is because now the king cannot come because of queen g6 check. Take, take, king e7, king g5, king f8, king f6, king g8, g7. It's a winning pawn endgame. And if the king cannot come, and he has no more checks, that means the pawn is slowly rolling to h6, h7. And then we're going to end up in that crazy queen endgame position with queen and pawn versus queen. All right? Yes. But okay, guys. You know what? Mr. Dillman, I'm going to offer you a draw because it's not fair. All right, I'm going to offer you a draw because defending this is really like torture, okay? I know it's like torture. This is just a Simul game, okay? But guys, you know, do this exercise for yourself. Try to play this endgame. Set up this position and play this endgame with the computer, both defending and attacking, okay? And try to see the patterns and learn it. Okay, the computer says queen f1, which is not very human. Apparently it's the only move, which draws immediately, because you maintain this checking sequence where black can force white to perpetual, yeah? Oh, I had to give him check on f8, king d5. Oh, that's how you keep this, okay. Yeah, but it's still a draw, man. And king g4, yeah. Yeah, it's still a draw. But it's plus 2.50. Okay, so maybe it's not so simple. Check, check. King e4, king... because the king is here, and okay. No more checks, yeah, because of this check. Then king g7. Queen g4 check is... See, the computer doesn't know, okay? Wow. Queen e7 eventually. Oh, there is no queen f5, okay. Yeah, so we reach this position. And now queen d3. King g7. If I give you a check, then it's queen g5. And king g6. Yeah, this is torture, okay? So I don't want to subject Mr. Dillman to this torture, because you know, white can like push pawn at some point, yeah, like check and maybe push this pawn, but no, you have to prepare this push, yeah. It's crazy. I would say 99% of chess grandmasters would lose this against the computer. And they will be definitely unable to win a single game against the computer. Okay? All right. But I'm curious about the rook end game. Let's go into this rook end game. So, so knight b5 is actually correct. Rook d5 was better, but okay. Rook e5, king b3, h4 check. See, this is a very bad computer actually, okay? It doesn't know, he doesn't know. Yeah, remember Mr. Dillman how I said you should play rook d7 immediately instead of king b3? Because it felt correct, you're immediately activating the rook. Because after king b3, you're sort of giving me a chance. Wow, rook e6 is winning, but rook e5 is a draw. What? Why is this difference so big? So for rook e6, rook d3, check. How is this winning? Because you push this guy, check, check, king b1, and king a2. And if c2, and then it's a7. Wow, okay. So that's how white wins. And what is the difference between rook e5? So Mr. Dillon played correctly. He played this, f6. f6 is correct. Oh, I should go for the same thing. And king to, wait, f7 is draw, right? So I had to take on b7. Check, check. King b1 now is not a win because of c2, and rook stops the pawn, yeah? So check, king d1 must be played, because if here, then king e2 and f7. Wow, so if this pawn is on a6, then king moves here. But if this pawn moves here, the king has to go this way. That's pretty insane, man. But what if you... okay, check, check. So king d1, what happens if you just give me this check? King c3, rook c7. King b3. Wow. A rook g7 and rook g3 check. And that is a win, yeah. Wow, okay. You guys see this? It's very important to know this. You use the pawn to swing the rook to cut off the king. It's incredible. See, even I make mistakes, yeah? I mean, with my experience, and I played a lot of rook end games, but c2, so I played correctly, check, king b3, a6, correct, check, check. Right, remember how I told you should play rook f3, because remember how I said rook c3 is winning? It is winning, right? You just grab the pawn and then it's a win, simple win. And remember how I said you should give a check first and then you take. And now it's a draw. But it's a fantastic draw because after this check, you have to play this, and you have to find rook f4 check. Wow. And this is a draw. Holy shit, man. Like, what the fuck? Like, guys, you can see this. It's incredible. I've never... You know, it is kind of funny because I've seen something like this a couple of weeks ago when me and my wife were solving the study. Almost exactly this position. Almost exactly this position with queen and rook and king. My God, it was from... let me find this book. It was from Pervakov's. Okay. It is almost exactly this thing. I have to find it. It's incredible. Let me find it. Yeah, he has rook and queens, but okay. One second, guys. I'm trying to find it. Okay. It's just deja vu. It's incredible deja vu. All right. If you have this book by Oleg Pervakov, Industrial Strength Endgame Studies, okay. This is position number 14. I don't know if you guys can see it. This position, okay. And look at the end position it ends up with. It's almost identical. Wow. But this is a draw. Uh, yeah, but this is a draw. But just in case you see this idea, rook b7 check, yeah, and a7, incredible, and rook f4 is only defense. Unbelievable. Wow. And it's just draw. All right, gentlemen. Pretty insane endgame, Mr. Dillman. Pretty insane. Hope, guys, you enjoyed the Simul. We had some absolutely unbelievable games, some studies. Yeah, this is like very close to studies you can get in a practical game. And I'll see you guys probably next Thursday, okay? I mean, for this next Simul. I will see you guys on Tuesday and Wednesday, of course. But for the next Simul, it's going to be probably on Thursday, all right? So hope you enjoyed the stream. And I'll see you on Tuesday. Good night, everybody.